Grandma's calling you saying, I slipped on the ice, come home and get me. Don't take flip-flops or you're going to be on the news. All right. In this video, we're going to tell you guys everything you need to know about what you may hate after you move to Phoenix, Arizona. These are things where you may not have prepared, and we personally, myself, living here, discovered this all after I moved here, and some of my clients as well. So take it from experience. These are things that we absolutely hate about living here. And I got a special guest joining us today. So Teresa's coming in. Right now the camera's showing her, and I think that may make her a little bit nervous. She's not as comfortable in front of the camera as me. So now I'm just gonna put up a picture of myself there. Guys, I have this whole template set out today. We're gonna talk about it, and we're gonna discuss this as well. So just act normal. Act normal. All right. So things people hate when they move to Arizona. Number one, yard work. I absolutely hate the yard work here. They say you can't shovel sunshine when you move here, but there's a ton of yard work. There's native trees to Arizona that includes the Palo Verde tree, the Sisu tree, the mesquite tree, and we have one, I found out the name of it, it's the Southern Live Oak in the front of our house. So these trees, like the Southern Live Oak in the front, has these little leaves, and constantly it is just pouring these leaves down. I think
it's more acorns that I think that
you acorns too. Yeah, acorns, and then the little leaves, right?
Maybe.
Those things. They're all in our grass. Like you go to mow the lawn or you go to rake and the rake doesn't even pick them up. It is a pain in the butt. Our backyard was a complete mess. We have a pretty sizable cul-de-sac lot here. I'll call it that because we're in a cul-de-sac. It's like one of those angled things. And remember the mesquite trees?
I do. So the yard work doesn't bother me as much as it bothers Ryan. I'm more of a nature lover, I guess. So it didn't bother me having leaves everywhere. I don't think that's a big deal.
So now we got landscapers. They come here bi-weekly and we pay $80. And I think that's a pretty normal fee that we pay for that service to happen every other week. I think if you wanted them to come weekly, it'd be like $60 or $70, but definitely something I recommend if you guys can afford it. And a lot of people might ask, hey, isn't that included in the HOA fees? In some 55 plus communities it is, but in our community, no, it's not. It's just, you have to pay to get your yard done. So, and they'll never include, just FYI, in 55 plus communities, the backyard. So moving here, yard work, guys, there's gonna be a ton of it. I mean, cutting palms, unless you hire a landscaper, point of the story.
Most people do have a landscaper though. It's very few. I don't know if any of our neighbors do their own landscaping.
So number two is the bugs that are here. And I think everybody thinks there's just scorpions here, but there are other bugs. There's little roaches that are around, and I guess a lot of people spray. We personally do not spray, but a lot of people spray for these little bugs. They kind of look like, just to put them into perspective, June bugs, but bigger. They don't fly, and they just kind of crawl around everywhere. They kind of look like cockroaches.
They call them park roaches. They're not sewer roaches like Chicago or anything like that. So they're not that terrible. We don't really get any in our home.
So obviously you have things like scorpions here, which I won't touch on too much because it's sort of a given. If you're looking into Arizona, you know that there's going to be scorpions, and it's really hit or miss with wherever you live. And one of the solutions, one is to spray, one is to kill them, go in the backyard and wherever you see them and just kill them constantly.
Hunting them with a black light because they glow in the dark.
Hunting them, exactly. And what was that other?
The Slick Barrier Company?
Slick Barrier in Gilbert.
So scorpions can't climb slick surfaces. So what they do is they paint the bottom like 5 inches of your house with this slippery paint. So then the scorpions can't get into your house as easily.
Yeah, so they were on Shark Tank, and I think they got a deal with, what's her name? I don't know anybody's name here. Jeannie Griner or whatever. I'll have a picture of her right here, but got a deal with her, Lori is her name. So got a deal with her, and yeah, it sounds like a pretty decent solution to scorpions. You just have to watch out if you have any trees touching your home, things like that. But there's a new one, and it's called the blister beetle. So that one, actually, I had this on another video, but it lands on you and it can explode its legs and then cause a blistering thing to happen. You haven't seen this in the news? Yeah, it can cause little blisters. So they're not gonna kill you, but they're definitely gonna be a little bit annoying. So I would look out for those. They're, I believe, red and black. So bugs are here, and they're a little bit different than anywhere else. So number 3 is drivers, the roads, speed limits here. So things are a little bit crazy on the streets of Gilbert and Phoenix metro area. You'll notice that speed limits On the expressways are 65. Most of the time people are doing 100. Speed limits here for all of the streets that aren't thoroughfares through the neighborhood are 45.
Which means everybody's going 60.
Everybody's going 60, yeah. And if you try to pull out into one of those streets, I mean, how's your experience been with that?
I mean, most of the time it's fine, but once in a while you'll think you have time, but then the car's going like 70 and you didn't realize it was going so fast.
Yeah, people just drive really fast. And if you're in the left lane and you're not going the speed limit, or if you're not going rather 20 over the speed limit, you better get over to the right. I'm the type of person where I don't mind that. I drive fast. The cops here aren't as bad, but they're definitely out. You got to watch out for school zones here. You'll notice it goes from 45 to 35. She just got a ticket. Just got a ticket not too long ago. Actually, it was like a year ago.
It was.
Did the traffic school thing, and so yeah, don't get a ticket here. Apparently, it's $300. You'll notice also that your insurance goes up, and talking about vehicles even more, your registration goes up, and it depends on the year of your car. So if you have a new car like Teresa here, she's got the 2023, is it? Mm-hmm. Kia Telluride she just bought. It's so sweet. I think registration on that's like $700.
It was a lot.
It was a lot of money. So they go by the year, they depreciate it based on what you purchased it for. There's some big formula for it. I don't know, but it's kind of ridiculous. 2010 Chevy Avalanche, don't mean to brag, that's what I drive around in. Gets about 12 miles to the gallon. However, my registration is probably like $50 or something, so it's not much. And you can buy those in like 2-year increments. Save a little bit of money that way. Anything else about the drivers and the roads talk about? Are we good? Can we move on?
People are more on their cell phones here because there's not really strict laws on that. Yeah, I mean, I guess it just came into effect, but I don't think anyone enforces it.
I think in like 2020 it came into effect, but it's, yeah, everybody is. If you look at any car, they are looking at their cell phone. So it's a little dangerous. Do I have a crystal ball? Can I tell you what's going to happen with rain here and water? I don't know, but I do know that they give out 100-year permits to all the homes here, and they guarantee water for 100 years. I mean, we haven't seen any issues with water here in terms of like faucets shutting off. It seems like
people have an unlimited amount of water.
People do have an unlimited amount of water. You'll see water springing up like broken leaks in landscaping and just water going all over the place.
Well, like when we lived in Illinois, you had restrictions. Like certain parts of the summer, you couldn't water on like Tuesday, Thursday. And then other parts of the town would be like, okay, you could water on Tuesday, Thursday, not Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But here you could water every day, all day, dump your pool, refill your pool, and nobody cares. And it's cheap. It cost us like $50 to fill our pool.
Yeah, it's pretty cheap. At least in the East Valley. I know the West Valley has a little bit more of a cost with water associated to it. We do have hard water here. So the problems with hard water is it has magnesium and calcium deposits in here. I did a little Google searching and research. Are you impressed?
Yeah, I am very impressed.
This video. So magnesium, calcium, some people say it's okay, some people say it's not. Do your research on that, I don't know, but it does create hard water. This creates buildup in like your pipes. It can create buildups, calcium buildups in your hot water tank, so you always have to drain your hot water tank a few times a year, once again wasting water. And then what else do we have here? So the calcium buildup on like the showers, how's that?
So it also like leaves a ring in your toilet. Even if you like clean your toilet every other day, you still have this like hard water ring in your toilet. That's from the hard
water? I thought that was from something else.
No, that's hard water.
Oh, yeah. So you can get a water softener. You can get that all filtered out if you have a water softener. We don't have one. Another problem is just the quality of the water here. So some contaminants that are in our water: arsenic, lead, chromium-6, look that up. There are foam toxins from firefighters who battle blazes up north, and that toxin gets into the water. So I once posted a video about an RO system and how it was so good, and people were like, well, you need the minerals in there to... I mean, I don't, like, get the minerals from somewhere else. Have pure water, guys. Get an RO system. Reverse osmosis, it's really gonna help.
I actually sell one now that adds minerals back into it.
Okay, what is that one called?
I don't know, it's like the RO system with minerals or something.
Okay, RO system with minerals. We'll try to have a link below, guys. But that is something I would definitely recommend because...
Plus the water tastes terrible if you don't have an RO.
Yeah, and if you're drinking that for years and years, it's probably not that great. So I definitely recommend. People hate the water situation here, hard water, they hate the contaminants. Also, one last thing is that in the summer, the water really doesn't get cold. You can't get cold water. So water situation here is a little weird.
That time you turned off the water heater in the summer because you're like, oh, we don't need it. And so we were taking like lukewarm showers.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Is that okay? Or was that?
No, that was not.
Yeah, she didn't like that. So don't turn off your water heater either in the summer. You're going to need. She takes scalding hot showers, and it's a little rough. So I don't know. I think you'll be fine if you turn the water heater off, but not if you live with somebody that likes scalding hot water. So air pollution is a thing here.
Air quality.
Air quality, I guess. So apparently something with the suns, the rays, and pollution mixed together creates more of a polluted atmosphere, ozone, and it's bad. And a lot of days we'll have air quality warnings, so you got to watch out for that, especially more so in the summer, right?
I think so. I mean, I guess it's year round though.
So just something to be aware of is that the air quality in the Southwest Valley is the worst, and it gets better as you go northeast, and a lot of that has to do with Sky Harbor Airport. So just something to keep in mind when you're looking at a place to live. We're in the Southeast Valley. When I walk outside, I don't really notice it, but when you're driving, you can see the mountains won't be visible or something. It'll just be like the smog.
I don't even think you notice it on bad air quality days. I mean, those are probably foggy days, but air quality days could look like a beautiful day, and it just has terrible air quality.
Maybe it was just dust blowing around then, I don't know. So I've noticed that though when I drive. I drive a lot more than she does. So, okay, let's talk about the sand at the park. We have to talk about the sand at the park because every time our kids go to the park, all the parks here for some reason have sand, and it's something that you hate.
I do hate it, yeah.
So we got to talk about it. She hates it so much she doesn't even want to talk about it. She's like, I don't want to talk about the sand at the park. It's been rough. So we're talking about it. All right. So fake sand at the or whatever that place sand that they have at Home Depot.
It seems like it's fake because it's filled with dust. So then you feel like they're breathing in all this disgusting dust from this park sand that's not even seeming like real sand, and it's just dirty. And then my son comes home with pockets full and dumps them in his bed or in the laundry room, or there's just sand.
Sand, a lot of sand. So we're in the desert and they have fake play sand at the parks. Now, one of the better things that they've started doing is more of that bouncy stuff, whatever.
Like the old tires, making it
grounding that stuff up, using that for some of the ground. But yeah, most of the parks, like in our neighborhood, pretty much all of them have sand. Super annoying, and you'll see that a lot. So that's enough about sand.
Yeah, and it's not even fun sand because it's never wet. Sand. So you can't even do anything with the sand.
Yeah, except that Mansell Carter, they have a little wet sand area.
That one doesn't bother me.
That one doesn't. So anyways, sand sucks. All right, let's talk about relocation stuff. So one of the things Teresa was just telling me that she hates about living here is the fact that our daughter made friends with this girl and became best friends. And how long have they lived here, do you know?
This is the second family. So the first family they lived just across our cul-de-sac, and they were here for 1 year.
Yeah.
And Maddie was best friends with both of them, and they relocated to Texas. And then now her newest best friend that is in her 4th grade class just let us know that she's moving to Colorado, where they're originally from, but they're going back. So we're pretty heartbroken.
Yeah, you'll notice a lot of people kind of move here for some kind of, they try it here, maybe they don't like it, and maybe it's the heat, which we'll get to, but
I think it's usually job relocation. There just doesn't seem to be as many people with roots.
Right.
We're from Chicago, the Midwest. Everybody has roots. Nobody left. I don't remember any of my friends moving. I'm still friends with all of my friends. So everybody just stays. And we were one of the only people who left So
no roots, basically. No roots, and people who are just passing through and have really no reason to stay. If something family, I'm selling their house coming up, and they're moving. They're in Power Ranch. House is going up. If you're interested in the home, yeah, they're selling in a few weeks, and they're moving to Florida. He was working at Bellbank Park, I think that place is. I can't really talk much about it, but yeah, they're relocating for a job situation, and they had just moved here in September. So you'll find that people kind of just waltz in, come and go. So let's talk about heat. Obviously, everybody hates the heat. What months are unbearable and what months are bearable? So I would say, in my opinion, I think June through the end of September is pretty rough. Other than that, you need a pool. You have to have a pool if you're gonna live here, or access to a pool. It's very important. I'll tell you what, since we did our pool last year, we built it, and this year I've actually been looking forward to the summer because it's been a very cold, very mild, and actually cold winter. So I am super excited to go swimming. I went swimming yesterday and it was still a little bit chilly. but it got up to 98 yesterday, April 10th, and a little oddly warm, to be honest with you. I think they set some kind of record. So we're looking forward to the summer and going in the pool. So basically it's like the winter in the Midwest or in the North or in the East or wherever you experience.
Except you still get to go out in the morning and the evening.
It's great. Like, I mean, definitely from dealing with what we had to deal with, where you had to get the kids bundled up and put a bunch of stuff on them and, you know, get them into the car, and, you know, the whole trip to the car is just a disaster. And then you get to wherever you're going and one falls on the ice, and, you know, in the meantime, your grandma's calling you saying, I slipped on the ice, come home and get me. Instead, you know, grandma's having a heat stroke, right? But here it's just, you can still live while there's heat. Whereas I feel like in the Midwest, it's negative 20 degrees and
you truly are trapped.
Whereas here, you're kind of trapped, but if you want to be active and you want to make an effort to be active, you can go out early, you can go out late, whatever you choose to, just get out before that sun.
Yeah, like it's fine to go on a hike at 5 a.m. till 7 a.m.
Yeah, definitely.
As long as you're off the mountain by 7 a.m.
Just don't take flip-flops or you're going to be... So number 7, we are talking about Teresa's main thing that she hates here, and that is the
weed killer.
Weed killer. So weed killer here is everywhere. I'll notice when I drive, there's a lot of rocks everywhere. Obviously, desert landscaping. So when they put these rocks out, which are not natural, these are rocks made basically for landscaping purposes, weeds grow through these rocks. And it is a challenge, guys. I mean, our whole yard we had a lot of rocks back there. We still do today around the border of our yard, and weeds pop up. We do not support Monsanto. Call us hippies, whatever you may want to call us, but definitely against the weed killer. I feel like you notice that birds actually will die whenever they spray that stuff.
So like they sprayed it about 2 weeks ago. If we were to go on a bike ride, probably today, you would see dead birds everywhere. So clearly they're eating the weed killer and they're dying. Our dog actually was sick a year or two ago, and I'm like pretty confident that it was from walking through the weed killer and then him getting sick from it.
So the weed killer here and the amount that they use, I mean, it's sickening. You'll see these big...
It's just like green fields of rocks.
Yeah, green everywhere. I mean, the way they spray it on the highway, you're just like, oh my gosh. And if you're into organic living and all that, which we try to be healthy, you'll notice that it's really...
So it's just hard to watch, because then you wonder like what you're breathing in and then what you're tracking into your home and your kids are walking through or touching.
Yeah, another reason to get that RO system with the water, guys. So it's just, it sucks. So there's no way around it. And unfortunately...
Sorry.
Unfortunately, like, come on! Unfortunately, like 95% of the people out there don't really care about weed killer. And if you're one of those people, hopefully you can change your mind soon. And I mean, it's a free country. You can use it. I get it. But that stuff's banned in a lot of other places. And it's definitely not helping us at all. So, anyways, rough subject there. Weed killer, something that we absolutely hate here. Yeah, I think mostly it's a great life here, guys. You know, you'll find that the pros outweigh the cons, and yeah, we love living here. We cannot complain. So anything else to add?
I don't think so.
Don't think so. So anyways, guys, if you're looking to make the move here, my name's Ryan Meeks, Realtor here in the Valley. Make sure you reach out, give me a phone call, shoot me a text, send me an email, or even schedule a Zoom consultation. The links are below for all that, guys. I'd love to help you make the move here. As you can tell, I'll give you my honest opinion, whether it's a home you're looking at. Can say a little bit about the neighborhood, not too much with fair housing laws and things like that, but I try to just be honest and transparent with you guys. And my goal is to make the move here as easy, painless as possible. And we hope to see you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.